Hey, welcome back to the show. Losing a loved one can be beyond difficult. It's always difficult, and it can be especially hard when we're facing the holidays without that person. My first Christmas without my mother and my father, incredibly difficult. But it does get better with support, and as psychologist Dr. Teralyn Sell explains, the right tools to manage your grief. Well, Dr. Teralyn, thank you so much for talking with us about something that is a really difficult subject, grieving. And from what I understand, you say there is no right or wrong way to grieve.
Absolutely not. And I think, we like to live in constructs, right? So we like check boxes and flow charts and things like that. But the thing is, grieving is not a linear process. It can happen over a long amount of time, a short amount of time, and you can bounce in between all those different phases of grief.
It's funny because, people also expect you to grieve. The people who are not the ones grieving, that they're like, you need to grieve in this way. A coworker kind of said that to me at one point when I was grieving the loss of my mom. How do we handle that when someone basically tells us we're doing it wrong?
Or tells you that you should be done grieving in a certain time frame? Right? Yes, exactly. I'm like, I actually work with a lot of people who struggle with grief, and I work on assertive communication. So if someone says something like, you should be over that by now, assertively say, there's no right or wrong way to do this. You just have to come at it from a very assertive point, which is hard when you're grieving. But if you just have little snippets of words to say, it becomes a little bit easier.
Having that language is so key. It's so vital.
Absolutely.
So you also say to take care of your physical needs too. I know it's hard to do that when you're upset. I mean, sometimes you just don't want to eat, or you're drinking too much.
Right. So one of the things I know is when you're a care provider of somebody who has a terminal illness, or even after a loved one passes away, we don't really think about ourselves because we're so lost in the emotions of the grief that sometimes legitimately you forget to shower or you forget to eat, and you're definitely not thinking about physical activity. So pick one of those constructs, and usually I'm like, pick food. Pick good, nutritious food that's easy, because if it's hard, you're not going to do it. But definitely work on focusing on your physical health, and those are your basic needs.
You say be emotional support rather than a fixer as well when dealing with this.
Yeah, this is for family and friends, right? So a lot of times family and friends, there's no playbook on how they're supposed to react to a loved one or a friend that has lost someone or something that's very important to them. So being an emotional support means I'm just going to listen to you. And I might even ask you, what is it that I can do for you emotionally that you need, rather than, making more casseroles and, trying to fix the problem or pulling them out to do something. Don't be a fixer, be a listener.
I know that sometimes people feel scared and don't know what to do, so they just go away. And that's just the worst when you're going through grief. You need your people. This is one that I am firmly behind you. I finally did after a year after my mom died, and I wish I'd done it sooner, seeking mental health treatment.
Yeah. So seeking mental health treatment doesn't mean that you have a mental health issue. Okay. I want to be clear about that. It doesn't mean that you have a diagnosable condition. Mental health therapists are very skilled to help you process material and coping strategies and things of that nature to help you work through your grief. And also, if it's a traumatic grief, particularly helping you work through that through trauma-related treatment. This doesn't mean that, again, I want to stress this. It doesn't mean that you have to have a diagnosable mental health condition to seek out therapy for a grief-related issue. And another piece of this is, if you don't feel confident seeking a counselor one-on-one, there are tons of grief support groups out there that are very valuable, whether in person or even online. There's safety and security with a group that's going through something similar as you, so you don't feel so alone and like nobody else could possibly understand what you're going through.
You're not alone. Just remember that. All right. Well, coming up next on New Day, we're going to head into the Hawk Zone with not one but two Seahawks legends. You're not going to want to miss this surprise visit from a veteran who popped in to say hello. We'll be right back.